Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Sports and Law Podcast. This is Coach Pierre here, and my co-host, Coach Cody Bowser, has some exciting news, so I'm going to go ahead and let him share that.
Yes, so finally, after a couple weeks of kind of being in limbo for people who have followed my writing on the Colts, I will really not be covering them for Last Words on Sports anymore. I'm going to be going to the MLB side and covering the Cardinals, which, as if you guys do know me, I am through and through more of a baseball guy. Like I was
Uh-huh.
sitting here last night. Last night, got my first article out there and was just kind of telling my wife saying like I feel like I have too much to write about. Like with this, like I can keep going. Like there's got to be a point where I got to cut myself off
Right,
to
right.
where like in football it was like I love the Colts. I love the NFL and all that, but growing up I was playing baseball basically all year round, so it's the
Mhm.
game that I knew. So covering them is going to be a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be a little bit more strenuous considering they play 162 games instead of just the usual 17. But
Uh-huh.
hey, that means there's going to be plenty to talk about, and with me also being in the St. Louis area, it's going to be fun to cover too.
He's so just at top on that, we'll add those two articles that he's recently written below in the description. So definitely go check them out. They're obviously through our Twitter, the Sports and Laws, we both share each other's articles all the time. So all that information will be down below. So big AFC NFC Championship game weekend. We're going to start off with the first game, Broncos versus Patriots. So I am by no means a Patriots fan. I am a Patriots hater through and through. I am the biggest hater. So this was not a fun game for me to watch. I wanted to get coach's perspective on. He has a buddy who is a big Pats fan, but also just his perspective on how the game went, and then we'll just kind of tennis it back and forth between us. So go ahead, Coach. What did you see in today's game?
A lot of snow there in the second half is
Yeah.
is what I saw, but it was coming out of their first two drives. Like I texted you guys and I said there is a very good possibility this game would end up being like 7-6, which I was close. I was
Mhm.
only four points off,
4 points
but
away.
it's just crazy how things, I don't really even want to say shifted, because the both defenses played well. Was it because of the weather ended up there, right before the second half started and going into the second half? But if I'm a Patriots fan, I'm I don't know if I'm worried about Drake May, but there's got to be a little bit of that question mark in my head now, just because I mean today he took five more sacks. Is that on him or is it on his offensive line? I think you can kind of dwindle it down to being a little bit of both. Rookie quarterback playing in the AFC champion, not rookie quarterback, second year quarterback playing in the AFC Championship. So could there be nerves too, especially playing on the road? Would it have been different if he played in New England? Who knows? But I mean, he had that kind of same performance last week. Like it wasn't good against the Texans defense either. I mean, today he only went 10 for 21 or for 86 yards.
Mhm.
Like I said, five sacks, and his QBR was 62.5 with an overall rating of 58. So it's like
Mhm.
that's not the MVP like play of Drake May that we've been witnessing all year. But on the ground, on the other hand, I mean, he went 10 carries for 65 yards with, a big touchdown there right before the second half. So, and then the first down run to basically seal the game there in the second half. So that's good to see. I have to get my buddy's perspective on this a little bit more. I really don't know why Travion Henderson isn't getting a lot of carries anymore.
Yeah, because he looked like he was in the doghouse in the beginning of the year, but then he started progressing really well and
Yeah,
became almost on my end a fantasy darling for the Patriots. So I don't know what's
especially
going
with the fumbling problems that Ramondre Stevenson had.
on. Uh-huh.
But obviously now he's kind of inserted himself back into that running back one position, which I mean, if that's their winning formula, all for him. Like you
Right.
said, I should be a Patriots hater. I really should be, just from the Colts Patriots, perspective. But I do enjoy watching Drake May play football. Could that be a North Carolina Tar Heel bias? I'm going to go with
Uh,
yes, probably, because I know my buddy who's a Patriots fan is also a UNC fan, and
uh-huh.
he talks a lot of smack to me, considering I was rooting for a Duke quarterback this year. So I had to had to pick my battles with that. But I think what I'm most impressed with is just New England's defense in
Oh, yeah.
general. Because I mean, granted, yes, they were playing Jared Stidham, but when he threw that first touchdown pass in the first half, I thought things were gonna start rolling for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe this is the foray, Texas state champion, high school state champion coming, Jared Stidham coming out and playing in the AFC Championship. But honestly, I think the biggest problem with Denver is that they couldn't get anything going on the ground. I mean,
Yeah.
they had RJ Harvey had 37 yards on 13 carries. I think them not having J.K. Dobbins really hurt them. I
Mm-hmm.
know he was kind of questionable coming into today. If they would have made it to the Super Bowl, he probably was going to play, but was he going to be kind of like, on a pitch count?
Right.
Uh, really, Cortland Sutton, who really is probably their best receiver, honestly. 3 receptions for 17 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He did have a touchdown, but you'd think, especially with your backup in, you'd be looking at your main guy a little bit more. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Marvin Mims had a decent game, 4 for 62, had the long 52-yard reception, but other than that, Denver's offense really couldn't get anything on. I think that is well deserved to be from the Patriots defensive side. I think Vrabel had a plan going into today, and obviously they executed it. Would have probably been different with Bo Nix at quarterback. I mean, I think we can all kind of say yes, it probably would have been a different game. Not saying the outcome would have been any different, but just how the game was played, I think would have been a lot different.
Yeah, the from what I've seen from this game, Drake May, if you're a Patriots fan, you're going to be worried because his stats haven't necessarily been what the MVP chatter has been about, but you do have to look at your playoff running went I want to make sure this is correct. So you've played the number one defense, the number two defense, the number six defense, and in the Super Bowl, you're going to play the number 7 defense. So his stats, again, this is at best case scenario, you have second year Tom Brady leading you in the Super Bowl with a chance to win it. And he didn't score an offensive drive. Uh, if I remember right, I think that first run, he didn't score. He only scored like 2 offensive drives that whole playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to take it with a grain of salt with your top defense as well. So he's playing top 10 defenses throughout this whole playoff series. So you almost have to take that with a grain of salt. You have the right coach, you have the right OC in McDaniels who's able to draw up who's going to Josh McDaniels, who's able to draw something up and provide some offense needed with all that experience as well. Like he's been to multiple Super Bowls. He's been to kind of how the Patriot way of setting up a playoff run of, hey, we're filling out the opponent the first couple rounds, the first quarter, shoot, even the second quarter of just, hey, we're going to take a couple body shots, we're going to try some different things, nothing too crazy. We're not going to we won't lose the game by the first half to put ourselves in position for the second half. And that's exactly what the Patriots did this game. I'm really impressed with them. This is probably one of the more likable Patriots team in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
and
I'll
I
give
think it
them
has a
that.
lot to do with Vrabel.
Yeah, 1000%. And I like Vrabel. When they got him, I was going, dang it, that's a good
Yeah,
coach. He's a really good coach, and I he's his expectation. My expectation of the Patriots were this season is far beyond what they've actually wasn't quite what they actually produced, but I knew they're going to be a playoff team. They were my number one pick this offseason of, hey, what team's going to not who did make the playoffs one year and is going to make the playoffs this year, and that's the exact reason why. They won the division with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, and the Buffalo Bills, because of that, now are in search of a new head coach. And it's crazy how impactful a coach can be to just an organization in a locker room and for a team. So I'm really impressed with them. The other thing, the other thing I noticed as well was, like you're saying, the running game never really seemed to go off. Drake May was their running game effectively. Like, he was able to pick up key first downs. He was able to move the chains. And so in a weather game like that, you just need to find a way to survive and keep that defense on the field, that top defense on the field, and just be productive. 10-7 isn't impressive by any means, but when you look at it, you were playing in the snow, in an away situation in Denver, where Denver is a hard place to play for a lot of teams. Look at the predecessor, Tom Brady. He has a losing record in playing in Denver, Colorado. It's
never won.
It's just, oh my goodness. Yes, he never won. Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay. No,
Brady or Belichick never won in Denver.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Never won in Denver. So the fact that he's able to go in and pull that off is just impressive. We'll get to the Seahawks Rams and how I think they'll do against that. But in the meantime, for a second-year quarterback, it's huge for that organization. The Patriots, they're going to be a contender for a long time. Drake May's just going to keep getting better. I hate to admit it, but they're a good team, and they're the AFC champions, and they have a real shot at winning the Super Bowl in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I asked my buddy, I said, who would you rather be playing right now? And he goes, the Rams, 100% the Rams. And I can't say that I disagree. I mean, to quote him, he said the Rams defense can be like Swiss cheese, which it can be.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think all this success has to go back down to Mike Vrabel. Coming in there, and then even Tom Brady on this game that he was calling, gave a lot of credit to Vrabel, just how he's able to lead a locker room, lead a coaching staff, and be able just to turn a culture just by being there.
Right.
And I bet if you're a Tennessee Titans fan, you are shaking in your boots right now. Like, why? I know we talked about it last week, but I think that can single-handedly be the biggest mistake the Titans franchise ever makes.
And it's not even the Titans at this point. It's a number of different organizations, because Vrabel took that year off, and he had gotten a couple of interviews, and there was one team that put out that basically they didn't want Vrabel because he's too big of a guy. And I get it. Like, the man's 6'4", but come on. Like, if he can coach, he can coach. Like, what are we doing here?
It wasn't even the fact that he took the year off. He was in the Browns building. He was a defensive analyst or something like that. The Browns had him there. Granted, they had Stefanski, and I think Stefanski's a good coach, but is he the same level as Mike Vrabel? We
clearly not. No, I would say no. Like, there's things that Stefanski does really well, but in terms of like building a locker room and managing personalities in men, bar none, right? Mike Vrabel does an excellent job of that. Like, no shot at Stefanski by any means, but look at what happened with the Cleveland Browns with Shador. Like, I'm a person who likes Shador, but that whole situation was just weird, and he clearly came off as a dude who did not want him to play. That's just my opinion about the whole situation. And when he did play, there was a segment out talking about how Shador's plays were some of they almost designed to sabotage. Now, that's a fan talking about it, but they said the whole breakdown about it. And again, that's conspiracy and all that, but I'm going, okay, I see what they're saying. And a lot of it was, deep drop passes, which you have a terrible offensive line, versus Dylan Gabriel. You have short, 3-step drops to get the ball out fast. And I'm not saying he purposely sabotaged Shador Sanders or try to prop up Dylan Gabriel, but if that's not the case, any good coach worth his salt is able to address that. And the Atlanta fans, and I got a buddy who's a huge Falcons fan, he's not a huge fan. He does not like this hire at all. So that, I can't wait for a discussion with him about that. But back to Vrabel. Vrabel is head and above shoulders better as a football coach. He took the Titans to the AFC Championship game. He had the Titans of the number one seed with Ryan Tannehill as their quarterback.
Yeah.
The man can coach. He can
Yeah.
coach, and he again, like I said, he is my number one reason why I actually do not hate this Patriots team so much.
Yeah. And like kind of like with Stefanski in Atlanta now, just the whole thing going between him and Baker now. It's like we all kind of
Oh,
figured that there was something going on there,
yep.
but Baker
Yep.
just solidified it. It's like, all right, this could be fun to watch
Uh-huh.
next
Mm-hmm.
season. May not be
One
fun for you guys, but it'll be fun for someone on the outside looking in.
Hey, as a Panthers fan, I'm just looking at go ahead and kill each other. Well, the Panthers just come in, scoop up the pieces, and go, oh no, there's mass destruction on both teams. Whatever shall we do? Oh, I Pat's defense really impressed me. I can't. We'll talk about the Super Bowl later. Let's. Do you have anything else with this game?
I don't think so. I think we wrapped it up pretty good.
I feel that as well.
It's one of those things where it's like, all right, the Chiefs aren't the Super Bowl again, but who is it? Oh, it's just the team that was there
for the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's that Thanos meme of like, you couldn't live with your own failure, and we're gonna bring you back to me.
Back
it's
to
just
me.
the pats and the pats, and I'm going,
it's
okay,
inevitable,
guys. All you Chiefs haters, fine. You wanted a new team, but what you got is the Pats again. So I hope you're happy.
Yeah, and the fact that the one outlier, the one season that it was the Chiefs or Patriots, and it was the Bengals, and look where they're at now. It's like, yes. All right, well, you could throw that in there as an outlier first, because obviously, if this trend continues, it's just gonna keep being the Chiefs in New England all the way. Just kind of swapping back and forth with each other.
Absolutely.
I'm glad we have parity on the NFC side, though. That's
good. Yeah, and that leads to the next game, which I was really excited about. So the Seahawks defeat the LA Rams 31-27. I've been texting my buddy, my buddy who's a Rams fan yet, but I know he's devastated. He really wanted to get this win, obviously, but just almost a payback to what happened a couple of weeks ago in Seattle. I was leaning towards Seattle. Not that I don't like the Rams, I do, but I just think it's hilarious that the first quarterback from that 2018 draft to make it to the Super Bowl isn't Lamar. It's not Josh Allen. It's not Baker Mayfield. It's Sam Darnold, baby.
Yeah.
And
people were calling him Same Darnold coming into this week.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I hated what happened with the Jets, but then when the Panthers traded for him, I was excited because I was like, okay, it's a fresh start, and he did some good things in Carolina. I just hated that we had a terrible coach, and our owner was still trying to put his imprint in the organization, and it was just mass chaos. But he was able to go to San Fran, kind of get a good reset. Kyle Shanahan talked them up. He went over to Minnesota on a 1 year and lit it up and was kind of showing everybody, hey, he can play. But again, ironically, against the Rams, that first round kind of wet the bed. He gets an opportunity to go to Seattle, and he leads that team to the Super Bowl. I love redemption stories. I love dudes like this who it just shows you how important your organization and the people around you are to your success. You know what I mean? That's life. Like if you know how it is, like if you're a good player or a talented player, but you go to a coach who can't coach you, a manager who can't manage you, a supervisor who has no idea what they're doing, your productivity is just going to suffer because of it. So I'm glad he goes to a stable organization and he gets a shot, and it's really awesome to see. And it wasn't like he got carried. He had to make some big boy throws today, several big boy throws. The one to JSN down the middle. There was one he threw. There was one he threw on the sideline again to JSN where he was able to make it. And again, it's just finding the right guy to get the ball to, open it up, and take those deep shots. And I'm excited for him. I think it's gonna be a good Super Bowl. So
Yeah, I think it's funny how he almost hit the quarterback guru, like the holy trinity. Like
yeah.
he hit to resurrect his career. He went to San Francisco, took the backup job, which from all accounts is that's what he wanted
Yes,
anyway.
yes.
And then Kyle Shanahan, like you said, talks him up, gets in his head that he can be good.
Mhm.
Then he goes to Kevin O'Connell, who shows him
Uh-huh.
physically that he can be good, and he's like,
Uh-huh.
"All right." So it's like the only one he didn't get to go through was McVay, and then when it counts, he ends up beating McVay.
McVay.
So that's yeah,
yeah. yeah. With again, it's just awesome to see. I'm so happy for him. And I'm saying it just because I know how hard it is it can be as a player to get your confidence back. And he's a guy. And I think he came into the league so young that I give guys like Baker Mayfield a lot of credit because they were in the same situation of, hey, I've been bouncing around the league and I just need to find somebody who believes in me because I know I can play. And Baker's done that in Tampa. Sam's doing that in Seattle. Your guy, Danny Dimes, he has a guy who believes in him. I hate that
mm-hmm.
he got hurt, but I think once he comes back, I think you guys, and here's my honest opinion, I think you guys can definitely get back on that not the bandwagon, get back on the train of all the success you guys were having. Because I think that team's going to believe in them too, especially if, they give him a little bit of money, they show him some stability. Who, yeah, there's so much to do with belief, especially with all
Yeah.
those talented guys. If you believe in a guy, it's crazy how much they can actually produce. Shoot, look at Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean? Like, at
Yeah.
no point, I feel like Kirk Cousins is the epitome of, hey, I'm not ultra talented, but I have a couple of coaches who believed in me, and look what I'm able to do.
Yeah. I want to revisit the conspiracy theory that I sent in our group chat the other day about
Oh,
the Daniel Jones.
yeah. Go ahead, go
Broken
ahead, go.
with the if I can say this out loud, I'll pull up the exact.
Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
because I went on a tangent the other day with the ESPN alert that the FBI is investigating, the passing of Jim Irsay. So
Uh-huh.
I threw my, tinfoil hat on, came out and said the FBI interrogated Daniel Jones, and then they ended up breaking his fibula because he wouldn't give up any information. That's why we don't know how or when he got hurt. They then blackmailed Shane Steichen to not use Jonathan Taylor because his success was a tribute to Jim, and they didn't want that. Then they took all of our defensive players to Guantanamo Bay. That's why we never knew where they were or what happened to them. That's why they never performed or ever came back. The whole second half of the Colts season fell apart because the FBI was pulling strings inside the organization. Carly and the other sisters know the truth, but so does Chris Ballard. Plot twist, he's the one that ordered the investigation and is using what he knows to keep the GM job.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bulletin board here in the house with red strings going everywhere.
Old school Charlie Day meme where he's just,
Yeah.
it's everywhere. uh, I, yeah, to that whole dude, I felt so bad for you. Like, you
I
guys
hope
were all,
if
I
one
felt
of our
so
shorts,
bad.
if one of our clips goes viral, I really hope it's not that one.
You know it's gonna be that one.
Yeah, it is.
I'll for sure make sure that's the a short. I'll make sure. Just to see how it fills out. Hey, at best it gets us engagement, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man, I just, dude, I felt so bad for you and that your Colts, because you guys were literally riding hot, and again, you know what I mean, you guys are going to Kansas City, that's a winnable game, but then, dude, oh man, I just felt so bad. Oh, so bad. Sorry. Get back to the Super Bowl. I'm trying to think of anything that I saw at the Rams that kind of made me go, ooh. Um, I didn't understand why Sean McVay didn't take the 3 points. I felt like,
That's what I was wondering that too, because then in that situation they end up stopping Seattle
yeah.
there and they get the ball close to midfield. And
Hmm.
if Puka goes out of bounds there, you're kicking a field goal only down by one. I mean,
Bingo.
ultimately, he didn't get out of bounds and didn't have any timeouts left. But then again, if you're only down by one, does that force McVay to use those timeouts there at the end of the game when they're on defense?
Right.
In that situation, it's always a what if kind
Right.
of thing.
Right.
So,
And again,
like
Seattle
I
may be a little bit more aggressive too. Like, hey,
yeah.
we can't let them have the ball back. My thought, uh, like I've told you, is when you're on the road, you try to get the points. When you sorry, when you're on the road, you try to be a little bit more aggressive to get points. But when you're at home, hey, you can be a little bit conservative because you have the
Mhm.
home field advantage. And that's one of those where it's like, I get going for the touchdown, but it wasn't like 4th and 2. It was 4th and 4, 4th and 5.
For that, and McVay ran down the sideline like he was getting ready to call a timeout, and he
Yeah.
never he got like 3/4 of the way there and then just stopped. And like
Mhm.
Brady and Burkhardt said, it's like he probably got down there, realized like, hey, I'm just going to trust my quarterback on this one. Which I
Mhm.
mean, ultimately,
Right.
you can just because of who
Mhm.
your quarterback is and Matt
Mhm.
Stafford.
But then his reaction afterwards probably is like, I am just going to call a
I
timeout.
yeah,
I'm
ultimate
like
yeah.
just that shot of him. Like, I'm shocked that's not a meme already with his face in the play sheet, the
Yeah.
Denny's menu, and just yelling into the Denny's menu. Like, that's gonna be a shot right there because I. He is such a offensive genius that he could probably, I mean, like you've seen the clips of him talking about plays that he's ran back in high school and like da da da. He can talk about NFL history and all this other stuff, but then it, it's almost like the brain processes everything where he's having to almost die. It's like I just need to make sure everyone understands this, and Matthew Stafford has said this several times where it's like he's still calling the play. He's like, he's giving me 2 or 3 plays in a row, and Stafford's like, dude, I already know the 2 plays. I don't need the third play. But then
Yeah.
now McVay's gonna for sure be like, I'm gonna give you the 3 plays because look what happened in the NFC Championship game. We didn't have it, and I obviously he has a Super Bowl. He's not Kyle Shanahan. Like he does a good job of adjusting
Mhm.
at of what's going on in the game. I I just I think what will help McVay so much is almost having a guy to bounce ideas off of, so he's not so he just looks trying to use the right word because I don't want to curse. He is so tight is the wrong word, but so
Tense.
wow, tense. Thank you. So tense that it like on the sideline, you could just tell like he wants it so bad. Obviously, everybody wants it so bad, but
Yeah.
like now he's just overdoing. Like, well, I gotta be aggressive because I'm playing against the Seahawks, and it's like, dude, let the game flow, let it come to you. You
Mhm.
you are set. No matter what happens, Mr. McVay, Coach McVay, you're set. So just coach like it. And I think a lot of times he coaches tense, and it can kind of feed off on the team because the defense just looked like, oh no, we're giving up a big play, oh no, we're gonna lose. And instead of like, look what happened to Seattle. I thought Seattle was done when I forgot the 27 whenever he gave up the taunting penalty and the touchdown. I was like, oh, they're
Yeah.
done. They're done. But
Yeah.
you saw Coach McDonald, he's on the sideline chilling. He's like, guys, we'll figure it out. Like he didn't have to go and talk to him. I thought there would have been a shot of McDonald talking to 27.
Mhm.
He didn't. He just let those guys figure it out. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, coach, let us figure out. We're big boys. We got it. I felt like if that was McVay's going over there and trying to insert himself, which sometimes is needed, but not for that team. Just
Yeah.
no. Let them, you got plenty of veterans, let them figure it out.
I think it's kind of like things like I tell my guys that I coach, like if you're already thinking like put it into like coaching a baseball perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the only like people always ask like what are you thinking while you're in the batter's box? Well, if you're thinking while you're in the batter's box, you're already done. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that can kind of come back to coaching. If you're thinking too much already, you're already behind the eight ball
Mhm.
on that, because if you're thinking tense, you're playing tense, and that's
Absolutely.
one thing you can't have. And that's the same thing. Like if you're thinking tense as a coach, you're coaching tense
Yep.
as well, and it's going to force you to make the, let's just say, like the erratic
Yep.
decision. Like you said, like if you're on the road, the old saying is, if you're on the road, play to win. If you're at home, play to, and I don't want to say play for the tie, but take the safe option.
Hmm.
Which, I mean, granted, yeah, your season's on the line, but you still had plenty of time there at the end of the
Hmm.
game. There was what, like 4.5, 5 minutes left whenever that happened.
Hmm. Yep. Because
And
look
so
what
it's
happened
like,
with Peyton. Sorry, look what happened with Peyton in that other game. Like if he takes the 3 points when it's all nice and just a little chilly with a little bit of wind before the snow hits, they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl because now they're
yeah,
kicking 13 instead of kicking for 10.
yeah,
So sorry, go ahead. I interrupted
yeah.
you.
And no, I was basically, that was it. It's like sports, it's always going to come down to the what if,
Hmm.
what there's never going to be an exact answer to, if I would have done this, would this have happened? So it's like I said, just as good as I do when it comes to those kind of situations.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, who am I to, correct Sean McVay and all that other stuff? But I am a coach. You're a coach. We're able to, that's what makes this show so good is like as two coaches, we're able to kind of see what are we're able to do. And that's not saying that when you're coaching, I mean, your mind should be blank. There's still things you need to think about, but you can't live and die with the play. You can't live and die with the batter on the box. You can't live in, what I mean? Like you almost have to have a constant um eagle eye of the game of like when I'm calling the play on defense, I'm going, okay, I know for a fact, I know the down, I know the situation. If I need to call a timeout, I'm good. But if that play doesn't work, I can't go, well, I can never run that play again. It's like, no,
Yeah.
there's clearly a reason why that play didn't work. You know what I mean? Like I sent the blitz at the wrong time, or I should have set my middle backer versus my outside backer, or I can play with a corner this time instead of the safety. Whatever the situation is, like, but I'm not living and dying with that play. And it's easy to say when it's not the NFC Championship game, but your mentality still needs to just be have an eagle eye of the situation, can't live and die with the play, take it all in, take what you need, take the information that you need, but you can't make the erratic decisions in those games. And I just felt like that fourth down was a really erratic decision. Just take the points.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing tight, like yeah, again, I know I just talked up Sam Darnold, but at that time, you got to go. Sam Darnold's their quarterback. They're going to play it safe. We're going to get an opportunity to get the ball. You know.
Yeah. And it's like coming from like my perspective, it's like, to anyone who, if you ever see like a a timeout called in baseball, like a meeting on the mound going out from meeting like on the pitcher's mound. Just
Mm-hmm.
from my experience, like a lot of the time, like you hear coaches yelling, like, throw strikes or whatever. It's like, well, the pitcher's, he's not trying to not
Yeah.
throw strikes. So like, kind of like your job as a coach is go out there, like, just from my experience, it's I'll go out there and I'll start a conversation that has nothing to do with the game.
Mm-hmm.
Go just kind of walk out there and say like, like, hey, it's just like a good day out here. It takes the mind somewhere else, because if you're playing calm, then that's when things can go right. I mean, you look at the greats like, like Brady and
Mm-hmm.
Peyton. You never, I mean, granted they were both fiery, very fiery guys,
Yeah.
but when it came down to situations like that, you never seen them like, crack
Mm-hmm.
under pressure, because they kept that even keel up in their head. And one quote that again sticks around the baseball, it's like, baseball is a game where it's 90% mental and the other 10% is in your head. Does
Mm-hmm.
it make sense? No, but you can kind of break it down to that other 10% is you being in your head, to
Right.
where like a sport where you're going to fail 66% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like if you relate it to football wise, it's like, everyone's going to fail at some
Mm-hmm.
point. and you don't know when it's going to happen, but it's the guys who can keep their composure, stay calm, are the ones who are going to succeed in moments like that.
Bingo. Yep. 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 So, Super Bowl in 2 weeks. Do you have a prediction? Yep.
I'm going to say the Seahawks. I
Same
rode
here.
within this game. I rode within this game, and just from what I seen, like my buddy said, he goes, it's going to be a very gritty game. It's going to be a lot like the games that the Patriots have played all postseason. Granted, the weather is going to be better
Uh
in San Francisco. At least you hope, unless the electrical substation decides to play some weird tricks.
I just love that's a thing now. Like I've
Yeah,
heard multiple sports people bring that up and try to
yeah,
diffuse it, and all the comments underneath are going, "That's what okay." That's what they all want you to think. Come on, guys. Like it's clearly something. Like even
yeah.
players have brought up to players and agents. They're like, okay, is this a thing that people and like scientists are making? Oh, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, because even like I think it was, I don't remember if it was the McAfee show or Pardon My Take.
Uh,
They're like, one of those teams are gonna have to practice at that practice facility that's right
yep.
there. So
Yep.
are they gonna want to, or are they gonna want to go off site? But it's either that or
Yep.
the whole conspiracy with the weather machine in New England that they had a few years ago.
No, I don't know about
You've never
this.
heard
No.
that? So there
Uh-uh.
was this big thing, and I know Pat McAfee talks about it a lot, that whenever
Uh-huh.
you go play playoff games in New England, they were controlling the weather up there. That's why it was always so cold and
Uh,
snowing or something like that. That's why the Patriots won all the time.
okay,
So I mean, it's
okay.
different in the spectrum. It was, one to help the Patriots win, and the other one is just some 5G electrical waves is the reason why players are getting hurt.
Uh-huh.
But I think it in my the not Texans. Yeah, should they eliminated from the playoffs and they're still on my brain. I can't get them out of my head. The Patriots, I mean, you played a quarterback like Justin Herbert, who
Mm-hmm.
really hasn't had that postseason success. CJ Stroud was a wild card. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
And then you played Jared Stidham today. It's like, all right, now you're playing Seattle, someone who has a very, very competent offense, who not only has a quarterback who has proven he can make the plays, but they got Kenneth Walker, who's going to be their bell cow, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have JSN, who is, in my mind, the offensive player of the year this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I I don't this is no shot at I also will go Seahawks, and this is no shot to Vrabel, but I don't know how good of a defensive schemer he actually is. And so what those Patriots teams were so great at was they could literally, like Bill Belichick's game plan against the Bills back in 1990 is in the Hall of Fame because he stopped the K-gun offense consistently. And the fact that he stopped the greatest show on turf and had them score under 14 points is fantastic. You know what I mean? Like there are so many
Mm-hmm.
great offenses that consistently were stopped against a Bill Belichick defense because he just knew how to scheme and schematic what you did really well. And that's no shot at Vrabel. Obviously, Vrabel knows defense. He's been a DC, he's game planning and all this other stuff. But there that offense is that offense is scary to me because in the NFL you win games by explosive plays and they have a lot of explosive play potential and their defense is relentless. Like I forgot they have three legit D linemen. They have Witherspoon who's a Pro Bowler, Sam Darnold's a Pro Bowler, JSN's a Pro Bowler. Um, Not their linebacker. There's one more guy on their defense who's a Pro Bowler. Oh, Leonard Williams. So
Yeah.
that's the other D lineman. So like you have guys all over the field on offense and defense who are big time players. And I'm looking at their team. I'm going, okay. Typically, the thing of a Super Bowl is you look at the man or the superhero versus the team. A lot of times that the man is able to create a play or keep his team alive to beat the team. Drake May's not the man slash superhero. Like, this isn't Patrick Mahomes. This isn't Josh Allen. This isn't Tom Brady. This is a good quarterback with a very solid team versus a better team on both offense and defense. So I think I'm not saying the Patriots are getting blown out. That's not it at all. McDaniels is going to get that offense ready. Vrabel's going to get that defense and his team ready. But I can see it being a score being 31-21 or something, where okay, the Seahawks have it pretty handily. Patriots going to keep it close, but then one big player to he's the other Pro Bowler. Yeah. But there's going to be some things where I'm going, okay, Seahawks got it, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, I'm a fan of Sam Darnold. The fact that he's there is crazy to me. The fact that if he won a Super Bowl, that would be hilarious to me. Hilarious.
He gets another shot at the Patriots after being in that division.
The team that made him see ghosts. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be a thing. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a storyline right there. Oh yeah.
And also, if the situation arises, if history repeats itself, Mike Macdonald, run the ball.
The ball. How many? I can only imagine how many texts does he get about this? Like, dude, just run the ball.
Granted, you don't have Marshawn Lynch, but you still got Kenneth Walker. Obviously, that's two different types of players, but Kenneth Walker is still a very viable running back, especially when you're at the 2-yard line.
Them not having Charbonnet, that obviously going to impact some things because Kenneth Walker started looking tired, and then I forgot the other back, but he wasn't quite it. Now, having 2 weeks to kind of practice as the true, that could definitely help. And it's not like Charbonnet is just prime Adrian Peterson or anything, but he's a guy who's been part of that offense, runs the football really well. Their leading touchdown getter, like he's really good. Obviously,
so when you had both of them, it was a force.
It was a force.
Their other one is George Halani.
Okay, yeah, Halani.
Yeah, so he had 3 carries for 4 yards today, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think that's another thing too, where if you're the Patriots, you're going, okay, we can take advantage of that. What was his receiving, by the way? Do you see what his receiving stats were? Halani
for Walker or Halani? Halani had 3 for 27.
Okay. I knew he had a couple big catches. Okay, but still, like in terms of running the football, it would have been nice if you're the Seahawks and have Charbonnet back there.
But for like the Patriots side, you can't go all in and say if we take Kenneth Walker out of this game, we're good, because then you're leaving Sam Darnold being able to throw to Njigba and then Shaheed too. So you can't focus on stopping the run, because if you make that your primary focus, then who knows, maybe Darnold ends up lighting up the stat sheet again.
Right. And then you have Cooper Kupp, who is almost on the revenge tour. I'm sure beating the Rams was sweet for him. You guys cut me, and I'm able to send you home. He's been a big playoff performer, obviously in his career, but then just having him, especially with this Super Bowl, to kind of help those young receivers, that's
just the nice. Mindset of it, of a guy who's been there, done that.
Yeah. With the Pats, Stephon Diggs finally getting there. That's good for him. He and Cardi B looked real chummy after the game. Trying to think anybody else. Oh, Christian Gonzalez versus JSN. That's gonna be a good matchup.
That's gonna be good. Hopefully, he takes some looks at the film from this week and doesn't get burned like he did in the first half of the Denver game. Otherwise, it could be a long night for him.
And I would, because who caught that big pass? It
I think it was. I think it was.
was.
Was it Nims?
It was Nims, and Nims is a burner. And I would assume Jason's faster, but even though it's the same type of, hey, you got a dude who can take the top off a defense at any point, so you better bring your lunch pail because you're going to work.
Yeah.
I wonder. I can see the Patriots running a little bit more zone stuff with all the smaller receivers, with
Hmm.
because you have Coop, you JSN, almost sending things off. I don't know how much deep zone the Pats run all year, but everybody runs a combination of zone and man. So I wonder if that's what they're going to do. And then on the Seahawks, you're just going to try to take advantage of your matchups on the with the corners. Both Patriots corners are. Oh man, I'm doing this on the fly. I wish. See, this. Yeah, this how you know I don't like the Pats because I have no idea. Like I know one of their corners, Jones. He's a. Oh no, he's a veteran. Okay, he's a 4-year veteran. But yeah, but they're not big time names by any
Yeah.
means. You're not. It's not Patrick Surtain. So it's gonna be a good game. I think it'll be a
Yeah.
good game.
Yeah. That's a. I haven't looked at any spread or anything, but I'll say it's probably at 3.5, 4.5 is probably
Mhm.
would be a good line to put it at.
Super Bowl spread. Okay. Well, according to an hour ago, Seahawks are on the money line minus 235. Over under on points 4.65, and Seahawks are a 5-point favorite.
5 point. Okay, so that's a little
Five
more
for
than I thought it was going to
I
be.
thought so. Yeah, I think it'll drop down to three,
Yeah.
3.5.
Once you
Because
figure
I
out who's really healthy and
yeah,
who's not going to be in the game.
and then a lot of people are going to bet Pats because as soon as they see the 5, you'll be like, oh, it's a Super Bowl. We're going to go under on that, and then it kind of
Yeah.
drops everything. Man, do you guys have a spot that you typically? Do you guys know you good? Do you guys typically have a spot you watch the Super Bowl?
It kind of bounces around every year. I
Mm-hmm.
know I used to go down to one of my buddies and watch it a couple years ago. It was just us and then my family, and then last year came home from the ER that day, so we watched it by ourselves.
Oh, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yes, I would like to be to announce that we were the first ones to be on the Mike McCarthy hiring.
Dude, yes, yes. I clipped it up and everything. It was great. And you did as well on the Twitter, bro. It felt good to be vindicated.
Yeah. That's what I was sitting here. I was watching the North Carolina Virginia basketball game, and it came across my phone, and the first thing I thought of was me and Alan talked about that Sunday, and I said
Uh-huh.
I mean I doubt we were the very first ones to say anything, but it may not be documented, but we did call it
We
on
did call it
Sunday.
a week ago. A week ago.
Mm,
We I was talking to my buddy who's a Steelers fan, and I brought it up too, and he was like, "No." I was like, "Yep," and explained your whole reason why, and it made sense. So the fact that it actually happened, and I think it makes sense in terms of what the Steelers are probably trying to do. I think it's going to be a teardown. It's to me, Mike McCarthy takes it by just going, okay, this first year we're going to tear everything down to the studs, try to draft a quarterback in the next draft class, pick up some pieces, and then I can kind of develop them as I'm playing them because he is Mike McCarthy
it just
is
makes you wonder though if
62 because he's not going to be there for 20 years. Like he's
no,
62. So,
it just makes you wonder now if Aaron Rodgers is gonna come back to play
mhm,
for Big Mike one more time, because like
mhm.
if if Rodgers doesn't come back, are they just gonna roll out basically the red carpet for Mason Rudolph, or are they going to let Will Howard get a chance? Like it's going to be strange in that quarterback situation.
Yeah. I think he's done. I think you've asked me. I think that's what you asked me last time. I think he's done.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was it because the way it ended between he and McCarthy was ugly. Like Rodgers kind of got him out of the Steelers, Steelers, out of the Packers um, locker room. So
Yeah.
I don't think he's coming back. And even if he wants to, who wants Aaron Rodgers?
Don't
You know what I'm saying?
don't
Like
I I'm not even gonna put it out in the universe because I have a feeling that I know
uh,
what's coming. But
you guys won't be that desperate. There's no way. You guys have you still have Anthony Richardson. You still have Daniel Jones recovering. You're probably going to have a form. You're probably going to have the new Buffalo. You just had the new Buffalo Bills head coach, Philip Rivers. Dude, you hear he's on like people in that building. They're saying he's a real candidate, which I was like,
yeah. And I kind of hope he doesn't get it because then, if that's the case, then I think the Colts really got to take a look at, kind of getting rid of. I know a lot of the offense, most of the offense runs through Shane Steichen, but Jim Bob Cooter is there, and then our quarterbacks coach, who I'll just be blunt about it, hasn't done anything to really help anything. So it's like, if you were confident enough in him to bring him in and play for you, why, if he wants to coach, why not have that confidence as well and bringing him in as, a OC that basically just kind of helps Steichen, which they both know the offense fairly well, so they can be able to bounce ideas back and forth off each other, or just be the quarterback coach to help him with AR, Riley Leonard, Daniel Jones, whoever's there.
I don't know. I don't know. But just the fact that apparently he's a real, like, even if he doesn't get the head coach in Buffalo, somebody's gonna try to get him as a quarterbacks coach. He'd be perfect. So why not you guys who just had him?
Exactly. And if not, I think Jim Harbaugh might even pull the trigger. He already pulled the trigger and went out and got McDaniel.
Which that shocked me. I was shocked that happened. Like he's clearly like, guys, I ain't playing around. This by any means necessary. We're going to be able to run the football and run because like it's not even okay. The biggest reason why is the scheme doesn't seem to be line up. Like Jim Harbaugh's your typical power football runner, but now he has more of a finesse zone scheme running game.
He's got a guy that likes to pull out like the bag of tricks almost, not quite as much as like like a Ben Johnson or a McVay or anything like that, but he's basically the one that kind of made the NFL adopt the new scheme, like with the motions and all of that whenever he came to Miami.
So I really do wonder then is Harbaugh just going, dude, I'll let you run your offense, we'll fix it up. But then the other thing is the offense was only a problem because the offensive line.
Yeah, that's what what I texted you the other day is like, is McDaniel going to be able to fix the offensive line?
And then the offensive line, right? You have two tackles who are coming back. If you're running a zone scheme, they don't have to be as dominant as they have been, but they're big dudes. You're asking them to move consistently. Like, if you're running more of a zone scheme, you kind of want smaller a little bit offensive line so they can climb up to backer, get in the way, move up to backers or second level, and just be in the way essentially. So I wonder if there's going to be so many questions about that where I'm going, that's interesting. That's interesting. And even if McDaniels is semi running some of what the Chargers did in the past, that's another thing Justin Herbert is having to learn too. Yeah. Like I just want to keep what we're doing, but then just add the pieces that fit appropriately. But that's why he's Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I think it's funny. It's like because there was the whole like the conversation between if the Dolphins should have picked Tua or picked Herbert. Well, McDaniel got Tua, and he's like, "Well, I'm just gonna go to Herbert now and see if this would have been a better option."
Yeah. And then Brian Flores is just going, "I told y'all, I'm validated. I told y'all. Y'all called me crazy and mean. I was right."
And another thing that, unless you got more to say about McDaniel.
No. I was just going to bring up Flores and the fact that he just signed the extension with the Vikings, but apparently there's a clause in his contract.
There is a clause.
Which I was like,
if he gets a head coaching job, he can take it. But if he's going to stay at DC, he has to stay the DC in Minnesota.
Yes,
which I've never heard of a contract like that.
I'm sure that's somewhere, but the fact that he signed that, I'm shocked. I really am shocked. But I mean, he's one heck of a DC. Obviously, I thought that the Browns have showed some interest. I don't know if they interviewed him. And I'm trying to think. Oh, the Cardinals. The Cardinals were the other one that they've shown some interest in him as well.
And speaking of the Cardinals, what did Jonathan Gannon say in Green Bay to be able to get that DC job there?
Hey, hold on. I was looking this up. Cards.
Because I
don't know, because his defense was terrible. These last 2 years. I don't know.
Granted, he was a good DC when he was with Philly.
Uh-huh.
And it could be, because of the guys he has on that side of the ball.
Uh-huh.
But it's like the dude had little to no success in Arizona.
Right.
With a guy like, Raheem Morris is still out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious on what the Packers saw, especially after not giving up, but losing Jeff Hafley, which from everything that I've seen is that people in Green Bay loved him.
Yep.
And they were, kind of heartbroken that he ended up taking, the other job.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know, because I agree with you that Jeff Hafley, the fact that he went down there, he was, hold on. Yeah, like he left Boston College to go take that Packers job, clearly with the idea of, hey, I'm going to be a head coach if I do well. Raheem Morris would have been my pick because he just runs he's a former head coach who I would assume wants to be a head coach again. And if he's able to improve and impress with that Packers defense, especially with Micah Parsons coming back, oh yeah, dude, that you're on the fast track to being a head coach. But the Cardinals have expressed some interest in Raheem Morris as well. But I don't know. I don't know about.
It just makes you wonder if the Packers even like what I said last week about, possibly taking the flyer on Sean McDermott if he wanted to be a DC.
Yeah.
Like we said, I thought McDermott would have been a perfect fit in Green Bay, but that's why they get paid to make the team decisions, and we just get to sit here and talk about the aftermath.
Right. I can see McDermott saying no just because of hey, why am I getting looked at? Why am I only considered
as
DC?
A coordinator instead of a head coach?
Not the coach, yeah. We brought that up. So I don't know. I mean, good for him. Obviously, good for him. Way to get paid. But there was about, like we just said, about 2 to 3 other guys I would have at least asked about before
making this decision.
Yeah. And maybe they're saying, hey, we're getting legit looks at these head coaching spots. And Green Bay's like, fine, we just need to get somebody who can come in right now.
Yeah.
And, Jonathan Gannon, you have a history. And you're still probably, we can probably sign you on the cheap since you got fired. You're still getting paid from that's the other thing too, where a lot of these coaches are still getting paid from their head coaching gig. So they can take a contract that's not the best and just know, well, I still have my $3 million a year deal sitting in, I'll take this $500,000 coordinator position just to,
especially if you were a former coach for the Raiders.
Boo. Yeah. Yeah. They're flush. Like the Raiders historically haven't been flush with cash. So the fact that they keep firing these coaches, they must have somebody that's backing them because Mark Davis is, he's not notoriously cheap, but he's not a rich owner by any means. He ain't the Waltons. So I don't know
Yeah.
what they're. Oh boy. My when we talk about John Harbaugh, talk about Kevin Stefanski, I'm trying to think anybody else that. Oh, Mentor from the Ravens. I mean, I'm not. That's that to me. That's just a Harbaugh disciple that you like.
Yeah.
You got a young version of Harbaugh. I
Yeah.
I thought I for sure thought they would have gone with something different.
I just thought it was funny. It's like because apparently, like in the Bills like coaching thing, like Josh Allen is there and has input with it. But then, like with the Ravens, their owner is like, "Oh, you can tell me all you want, but ultimately, this is my decision."
Yeah, like I know Wilson's right about Josh Allen in the media coverage that he gets and how much he gets babied. And I don't necessarily feel bad for Allen because again, 4 turnovers is 4 turnovers, but there's been a lot of things where the Bills have done, especially like where I've been confused by. I think you need to get rid of McDermott, fine. But you're telling me you didn't have anybody in mind that you're ready to pull the trigger on? Because by now it's been a
Yeah.
week. Like unless the person you want was coaching this weekend, I for sure thought they would have pulled the trigger on somebody. And I keep hearing Dayball is a strong possibility. We talked about Phillip Rivers, so it sounds like they're thinking offense. But the issue with Dayball, I guess apparently Brian Bean, their GM, is real close with the Giants GM, and so there's been a little bit like, hey, here's what I saw with Dayball, and that's kind of why that hasn't been pulled the trigger, and maybe that's who the owner thought until all that came out.
Did you see anything from the press conference that Bean and the owner did?
Dude, that was a disaster. Through Sean
Basically throwing
McDermott
McDermott under the
under the
bus for the
bus,
Keon Coleman pick.
Coleman pick. And then now, like, did you see all the clips of like being like celebrating the Keon Coleman pick? So then it's just like, okay, why are you protect again? Like, I get if you're an owner, you don't have to explain anything other than, hey, he did a good job, yada yada. I'm just moving him to the president of operations or whatever. Fine, it is what it is. But to throw a dude under the bus who's a player on your roster and a coach who took you to the play, that's the other thing too. Like we act like the Bills were such a great franchise before McDermott got there. No,
No.
he's to me, he's Marty Schottenheimer. He built up the organization. He got them to respectable. They made it to a few AFC Championship games. They just didn't. The ball didn't bounce their way. It happens, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then the reports are that McDermott's taking a year off, which I think he should. Like it doesn't hurt. Like look at McCarthy. He took the year off and he was able to get Dallas, and now he's in Pittsburgh. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's okay to not be in the limelight. You kind of just, hey, I'll keep getting these checks. Me and my wife can go on a couple vacations, no big deal, and have a good time.
Because now, if I'm Keon Coleman now, I'm asking for a trade right now.
Yeah, McDermott's only 51. He's got plenty of time. He's not old. Yeah, yeah, I feel bad for the young man because this is his third year in the league, and he has the Xavier Legette issue where, all right, it's like, dude, this year is put up or shut up time for you because enough of this cutesy, just whatever. Let's actually start producing.
Because he was a healthy scratch the last 3 weeks of the season.
And then there were reports about him sleeping in meetings and not running the right routes. And some of the offensive guys are getting frustrated with them. And I just keep going back to what Steve Smith said about him, where he's like, hey, fan favorites are only for young players and productive players. And you're no longer young, sir. So you need to fix it up. And it's like, yep. Like, it's all key when you're year one or even year two, and you're like, oh, look
Yeah.
how eccentric this guy is. After that, it's like, okay, we get it. Start catching touchdowns and getting first downs.
Yeah.
Anything else? I'm trying to think.
Not really off the top of my head. I think it's weird that the Pro Bowl flag football game is going to be played on Tuesday in a hotel. It's like what
What?
happened. Yeah,
What?
it's basically be playing in a convention center in a hotel on a it's being played on Tuesday of the Super Bowl week of Super Bowl week. So
So then, what are they doing? So there's nothing on that Saturday or Sunday.
I think your guess is as good as everybody else's.
What?
Right now, yeah.
No. Oh my gosh. NFL Pro. What? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Well, I want to know why. Why? Why is the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, it's like granted the Pro Bowl was never a highly competitive game, but it was still fun to watch all the guys, playing an actual football game in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I understand why they made it, the flag football. You don't want anybody to get hurt, but nobody was going to get hurt anyway in that game.
Oh my gosh. And if you do, you just make them go, hey, if you get hurt, your next contract is full and guaranteed, or we pay out your salary for the next 2 or 3 years or whatever. You know what I mean? Like something that easily the NFL can cover. I think the problem is they moved away from Hawaii. It was fun to have those guys go down to Hawaii. Like no, the other issue is I thought it was fun to have it played after the Super Bowl. I just thought it made sense. I just thought it made sense. Hey, it's the last thing, kind of our all-star game, yada, yada. Guys go down to Hawaii. You can go do vacation and have a good time. Oh gosh, pack the whole Pro Bowl up, man. Just pack it up. That makes me, on a Tuesday. Yeah, because AI says it's taking place in San Francisco during Super Bowl week. Will feature a flag football format and skills competition on February 3rd at the Moscone Center.
South Building. Yeah, that's what it's like. I heard them talking this week. They're like, yeah, it's basically being played in a hotel lobby. And I'm like, what? And so I ended up looking into it. It's like, oh, no, it is. This is true.
So that is so that they're not even having it. And the next thing is Travis Kelce suffers mystery injury as the Chiefs star pulls out of NFL's Pro Bowl.
It's like you wonder why these guys are pulling out of the Pro Bowl. Look how you got the setup going. It's like, what was that a few years ago where Gardner Minshew and Snoop Huntley were Pro Bowl quarterbacks because other guys just kept opting out.
It was like, dude, this dude up.
And like what it's saying here is like this event is designed to showcase elite flag football talent, highlighting the sport's inclusion into the 2028 Olympics. It's like, okay, that's still 2 years away.
Yeah.
Can we not do something else?
Why can't it just be on that Saturday or Sunday? That's what I don't get. Yeah. Like, just
why does it have to be on a Tuesday night? There's going to be people who watch college basketball that are going to tune in to that, even if it's not a top 25 game.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that this is going to be a highly viewed product. And I could be wrong. Like people could, but also like if you're having it in a hotel convention center, how many people can actually go there to watch the game?
Yeah.
It's like we got a sellout crowd of 47. I mean, how many folding chairs do they have in the supply room to be able to pull in there?
It's gonna look like that. It's gonna look like that old school like WWE, ECW fights where it's just like this is a town hall that we're fighting here, and A convention, man. Gosh.
It's
That,
gonna look like the crowds like on the Toy Story and Monsters Inc. broadcast. Is what
uh-huh.
is what it's gonna look like.
Oh man. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Um final message before we wrap this up.
One more week basically of football. It seems like that we were just starting the 25-26 season just a couple weeks ago, and here we are at the end already.
Yep.
And then OTA draft will be coming up. Combine. I am gonna try to get to the combine this year.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Try to go over there because like I said, my buddy goes every year and he says it's a blast. And I mean it's only 3 hours away from the house here. So
Yeah. So do you have to use a obviously press pass and all that, or can you just go there?
you can just buy like basically a general admission ticket and go in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
At least that's my understanding.
Okay. Yeah. We gotta talk more about that then.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. We'll obviously once the season ends, we'll start transitioning over to baseball, a little basketball, so on and so forth, and still talk a little bit of football. But it's been fun doing this with you, May, and I can't wait to see what you do on your baseball stuff. We'll link all of it. I shared it with a couple of buddies, and they liked your stuff that are huge Cards fans. So I told them, hey, share it with your friends, get your name out there. Um, Oh, I need to tell you something after this. But yeah, we'll wrap this up, guys. Hey, like, subscribe, share with your friends. I'll post some shorts as well. Get it out there. But obviously, thank you for listening. Hope you have a wonderful evening. Peace.
That's it. And if you were stuck in the snowstorm, kind of like we are, good luck, have fun, stay
Yeah,
warm.
yeah. Please stay warm.